Hello everyone and welcome back to the UConn Huskies Dynasty. Look, something has to change. UConn is 4-2 on this season almost in spite of the offense and specifically the passing game, which is the second worst in the Big 12. Cole Welliver, after having an incredible season last year, has been bad, to say the least, this season. With 7 interceptions through 6 games, only a 50% completion percentage, and only the 10 touchdowns, which is very down from what he did last season. And it's not all his fault. This offensive line has been really bad, particularly Manny Smith. But Manny does seemingly get a holding penalty about every other play, it feels like. And going forward, he will be benched. It got so bad in the last episode that he ended up actually costing the team points. Going forward, redshirt freshman Nolan Lindsay will be taking over. He's got much better strength. Manny Smith only had 78, Lindsay has 90, and he doesn't have the incredible pass blocking ratings, but it's still pretty balanced. And hopefully with the increased strength, he won't have to hold nearly as much. But we're not done there. Cole Welliver officially is being benched. I don't blame him entirely. I think if we had a better O-line and he was allowed to air it out a little bit more, he would be fine. But the bad short throw accuracy has been a concern time and time again, especially with having to go to the quick game so frequently. And not to mention that the connection with Dorian Tobin just really hasn't been there this year, even on the deep ball. And also, he is the least athletic quarterback on the roster, and that just does not fit with how bad this offensive line has been. So going forward, Cole Welliver has been benched. The main guy you might think of to take over would be Calvin Plummer. And he is actually quite good. His accuracies are pretty good, but they're already capped out. He's not going to get a whole lot better, and he's really only super good at short throw accuracy and throwing on the run. He is pretty quick though. His speed is only 80, but his acceleration is 88. I just don't necessarily think he is the right fit for the offense either. I think you guys know where I'm going with this. There was only one man for the job. His name is Dorian Tobin. He's back as the UConn Huskies quarterback. A few episodes ago, I complained about the wide receivers and the fact that they were all basically at their ratings maximums. Somebody in the comments asked what Tobin looked like at quarterback, and I hadn't even checked. Turns out that he has a long ways to go with his accuracy rating as a quarterback, and he has a lot higher of a ceiling. So while he's basically at his ceiling as about an 82 overall wide receiver, we could see him probably get up into the 90s, or at least very close to the 90s as a quarterback. Not to mention the quickness that he possesses is just incredibly elite out of the quarterback position. The only issue this presents is that it makes our wide receiver room a little bit weaker. But I believe in Brock Montgomery. I believe in Terry Overhauser. And after the performance Tevin Madu put up against Syracuse, I definitely believe in him. And I want to see him play a little bit more. Now, is this a permanent change for Dorian Tobin? I don't know, and I don't think so. John Pelshak is the elite development quarterback, the number 2 recruit that we got last season. And we put way too much effort into getting this guy for him not to be the starter going forward. I'm fine with redshirting him this season. I don't think he's quite ready. But I mean, look at the peaks that this guy has potential to reach. I think we got to start him as soon as next season in his redshirt freshman year. But Tobin will always have a place in the offense, whether as a receiver, as a quarterback, or even as a running back. I want to show you something I discovered. You'll see that Tobin no longer in the QB room. Dorian Tobin is a 95 overall halfback as a sophomore. The only unfortunate thing is that he does not receive platinum shifty as a halfback. He gets platinum balanced. And you can see that his ratings maximums as a halfback are also not even close. He has a long ways to go. So one thing I'm considering next season is having Tobin be a halfback and just using him everywhere. As a halfback, as the slot receiver, wherever we can put him, his speed is incredible. And however we can get him the ball as much as possible, that's what I want to do. But let me know what you guys think. Do you like this change? Tobin, like I mentioned, is the starting quarterback going forward now for this season. I imagine it'll be Pelshak next season, but we'll just kind of play it by ear. Here's a quick refresher on the recruiting board. We have gotten commitments from halfback Kareem Ursua and right tackle Jamichael Newton, right guard Tevin Dobbs, right tackle Deontay Garbutt, right tackle James Ford, and corner John Catapano. We did lose out on 5-star corner Christine Poljan and 4-star halfback Matt Griggs. We are very close to commitments from the tight end Larry Vitale and the corner Iosefa Duggan. We found a 4-star gem receiver in Anthony Giordano, who we are going to start pursuing. And it's worth mentioning that Daryl Skaggs does visit Syracuse this week, but then visits us next week. He will likely lock out his top 3 going into next week, and then we're looking pretty good with the visit to be able to secure his recruit, but Syracuse is making up more ground than we are. This week, UConn back at home will face off against the UAB Blazers. The Blazers, as you might recall, are only a couple seasons removed from winning a national championship, but according to their listed overalls, they are not nearly the team they once were, having most of the starters from that national championship run having graduated at this point. But let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the action. The season debut of Dorian Tobin as QB1. I'm really excited to see what he can bring to this offense. He maybe didn't get a fair shake a season ago. I think a lot of the people in the comments would agree with me there. Let's give him his opportunity to lead the Huskies to the promised land against a national title winner. 2-4 this season, though, is UAB. Dorian Tobin, out of the shotgun, going to take his first snap as the UConn quarterback this season, and it's going to be a jet touch pass to Shaq McBath, and he only gets a couple. I know I've probably beaten it into your brains at this point, but Tobin, 98 speed, always a risk to scramble, and we're going to try to do so here. Look at all this open field for Dorian Tobin. He's past the 50, up past the 40, and he'll head out of bounds at the 33. And that is what Dorian Tobin brings to this offense as the quarterback. An immediate 40-plus yard rush. So 1st and 10 all the way up to the UAB 33. And we'll hand it off to McBath for the first time today. Finds 6. 2nd and 4 from the 28. Tobin, play action, looks to throw. He wants Dalton Schmizniak. A little bit of an overthrow there from Tobin, and he knows it. 3rd and 4 from the 28. Back to pass again with Dorian Tobin, and he'll get this to Shaq McBath, who does get the first down. From the 21, Tobin hands off to Max Cadet this time, finds a hole, trucks one defender, and goes down inside the 10. It's a 1st and goal for UConn. Out of the pistol now for Tobin, looking to get into the end zone, throwing quickly and finding Tevin Madu. Touchdown Huskies. Just like that, Huskies drive down the field, find 6, and it's Dorian Tobin's 43-yard rush that gets him most of the way there. And Tevin Madu, the hero of the last episode, getting into the end zone. If we can do that every single drive with Dorian Tobin, I'll be happy. There are still some familiar faces on this team from seasons past. Like Adrian Posse, for example, their senior quarterback is pretty solid. They've also still got Andre Devine, the speed threat halfback. But the real problem lies in their wide receiver room, which is currently led by sophomore Cole Bowie. Then they have Sam Barnhart, Jamal Cobb, Ed Wayne, and Mario Cofield. And then at tight end, it's Leonard Boyce and Dennis Schlauderoff. Definitely a large fall from grace after their national championship Cinderella run, but hey, they got one. You can't fault them too much. Andre Devine gonna get the first carry and wasn't really tackled by anyone, kind of tripping on his own lineman there. And they do run with tempo, so it's 2nd and 11, Posse back to pass and going over the middle, finding a hole in the zone coverage and getting a pickup of close to 30. Near the 40-yard line after the big pickup. And it's going to be an end-around play, a hurdle, and then a quick tackle, only 2 yards there. 2nd down and 8 from the 41 for Posse. Number 11 looks to throw, scrambling and finding a target down the field. That is caught. I believe that was Cole Bowie. It was Drod Byler in coverage, and it wasn't great coverage at that. 1st and 10 in UConn territory, wasting no time at all. And they'll go back to the ground with Devine, but the blocking set up a little bit too well to the right. They didn't cover the left at all. And a TFL there. Now 2nd and 11 as they send Devine out wide to the left. They take the check down over the middle, and that's a pickup of 5 or 6. Back to the hurry up they go. 3rd down and medium, probably in field goal range. They go to the air. Posse downfield and incomplete, forced out by Santos. He was looking for Bowie again. and they'll be forced to settle for the field goal attempt. It's straight on, but it is pretty much dead on 50 yards. Not the easiest kick. That one is on its way, and it will veer back inside the uprights. It is good. 7-3 now the score. So let's see if UConn can be as efficient the second time around as they were the first. 1st and 10 from the 22 as McBath gets the carry. Good blocking. Has a lane up the middle. That sets up a 2nd and short. Tobin out of the shotgun and scrambling, finding his man. It's Dalton Schmizniak. And that will be a 1st down, nearing the 50 up to the 46. First catch on the day for Dalton Schmizniak. Now 1st and 10 as Tobin hands off. McBath again. Really good blocking once again, and a pickup of 9 for Shaq. 2nd and a short 1 from the 45. Will go back McBath's way. Doesn't get much, but does get the 1st. So past midfield now at the 42. Tobin to throw, has a man wide open. It's Brock Montgomery, and he'll get another 1st. The 7th 1st down on the day already for UConn. Now on 2nd and 9 from the 26. We'll go Tevin Madu's way, and they rule that incomplete. I'm not so sure, but I'll take their word for it. It is actually going to be booth reviewed. We'll see if they rule in favor of UConn. I thought he got his feet in. Take a look at it again here. To me, that looks like it's maybe even a catch in the NFL, and they do overturn it. Now on 3rd and 4 from the 21, Tobin back to pass. He wants Brock Montgomery, makes the grab. Good block from Dalton Schmizniak, and Brock makes it all the way to the end zone for 6. Touchdown UConn on the 2nd drive of the day. Back-to-back scoring drives, and they will extend their lead to 2 possessions over the Blazers. I will mention, watch Dorian Tobin's spirals from time to time. They are so wobbly. 1st and 10 UAB already in an 11-point hole. 14-3 the score. Devine on the carry. Good blocking, but Joey Terrell actually pushes him into Raheem Lovelace, who makes the tackle. That one had potential to be a lot more yardage than it was. Only a pickup of 2 instead. They're setting up the running back screen. Good blocking on Joey Terrell as George Kiki has to make the tackle alongside Nick Giuliano, but that's good for a 1st. Up to the 24. 2 minutes left in the 1st quarter. Posse out of the pistol, Devine behind him, and Devine will get the carry, jukes out Nick Giuliano, and finds another 1st down for UAB. They really did not have a ton of issue moving the ball until the very end of their last drive, having to settle for the field goal, of course. 1st and 10 from the 34, another handoff, Devine. Raheem Lovelace kind of misses the read there, a pickup of 3. 2nd and 7 from the 37. Devine gets the carry. This time, Lovelace not misreading the play, forcing a TFL. 3rd and 11 after the play from the senior linebacker. Posse changing up the play out of the shotgun and looks to throw. Has time, takes the check down, need a missed tackle, but George Kiki gets it done and will force the punt away. Back to UConn offense. Been efficient so far today. 1st and 10, starting from their own 20. McBath gets the carry and gets 5. 2nd down, Tobin gives it back to Cadet, makes a move and finds a 1st. And that'll bring us to the end of the 1st quarter. 14-3 to start the 2nd quarter. No holding penalties so far on the left side from Nolan Lindsay. You love to see it, as this will get to Tevin Madu, and he will have a 1st down up to the 44. Empty set for Tobin on a 2nd down and 6. And he'll throw quickly for Marcus Angler, who gets dragged down from behind, but has another 1st. Tobin out of the shotgun and gives it to McBath. Burst of speed, falling forward. Gets close to the line to gain. Now 2nd and inches as Tobin's back to pass again. He wants Brock Montgomery. Took a deep shot, incomplete, swatted down. Out of the pistol again, it's 3rd and inches from the 33. We get it to Shaq. McBath makes a cut, has some running room here to the outside, and gets inside the 20, nearing 70 yards for Shaq McBath. 8 minutes left to play here in the 1st half, and UConn's offense looking as clean as ever as this gets to Marcus Angler, and he is untouched. Touchdown, UConn. The tight end getting involved now. Marcus Angler from Dorian Tobin. And my, oh my, has the UConn offense looked better this season than it does here today against UAB. 7:42 left to play in the half. And Adrian Posse and the Blazers find themselves down 21-3. Handoff, Andre Devine gets a yard before he meets Byler. This has been a stout defense all year. The offense has been the thing really holding UConn back, and so far today they've been incredible. Quick throw as Santos makes the tackle and sets up a 3rd and 5. Out of the pistol for Posse on a 3rd down. He does look to throw under pressure from Clyde. Novak makes the throw, and a good catch there from the tight end Leonard Boyce. Holds on through the hit as well. So 1st down, still in the hurry up. They've actually only spent about 40 seconds off of the clock so far. Quick throw to Bowie, but we're all over it. Excuse me, that was Mario Cofield, not Cole Bowie. 2nd and 7 after the RPO play. And now they've got everyone out wide. And Posse will look to throw, and George Kiki makes a really good tackle. If he got past Kiki, he was gone. Another 3rd down situation for UAB. We forced a few of these today. Haven't always been successful on getting the stops, though. Posse, great pocket. Time to throw, taking a deep shot down the field. It's swatted away by Byler. Santos also in the area. Just a desperation heave from Posse. It doesn't work, and they'll punt it again. 1st and 10, UConn once again. 6:18 left to play in the half. McBath, another really good carry. Man, he has been efficient today. 1st and 10 after the running play, and we'll get this outside to Dalton Schmizniak. Makes kind of a diving grab there for 6. Interesting formation here for the Blazers defense on 2nd and 4. It is a blitz. McBath trying to get to the outside. Lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. He's actually credited with a yard. Now it's a 3rd and 3 from the 42. Blitz kind of on its way as Tobin makes a play happen and gets it to Terry Overhauser. 1st down, UConn. So, a little quick to attempt a scramble there maybe, as we had Overhauser near immediately. But this is what you like about Tobin, right? Any other quarterback is probably punished here for this scramble, but Tobin gets back around and makes a play still anyway. Is it a mistake? Absolutely. Should not have scrambled to the left there. But the ability to be able to bail himself out is what makes Tobin such an elite threat. Quick throw. This is actually Dan Boyd. And as a receiver, he fumbles the football. And it's recovered by UConn. Terry Overhauser, the one recovering it. Not sure why Dan Boyd in as a receiver on that play. 2nd and 5 from the 28. Tobin to throw. He sees Dalton Schmizniak, makes the grab, and finds 6 again. Another touchdown for the UConn Huskies, looking dominant today against the Blazers. It's going to be 28-3 after the PAT, and this offense has never looked better. Dalton Schmizniak on the corner route. Good throw from Tobin. 6 more for the Huskies. And before y'all come at my throat and are like, oh, you lowered the difficulty to make Tobin look good, I can assure you that is not the case. It is not fun for me to just lower the difficulty to set a narrative. I'm always on Heisman. I'm always on Matt 10 slider set. This is what UConn has been missing this season, being able to dominate a bad team. And, the defense has been dominant, but the offense has not. Joey Terrell hitting Posse, and it just serves as a throwaway. And have we found an offense that can be hot with Dorian Tobin at the helm? I'm not so sure. I do think that UAB is a pretty weak team and that it remains to be seen. We need to see Tobin and the offense work against probably a better opponent. It just seems like UAB, not the team they were a couple seasons ago. We also played this team last season, ended up winning that, but I recall it being relatively close, although I may be misremembering. I believe this is now the 3rd time we've played UAB. 1st and 10 from the 41. They need to score on this drive probably to have really much chance of making a comeback in the 2nd half. From the 46, it's a 2nd and 5. Posse by himself. Time to throw. Quick throw. Wheel route down the field. Finds Cole Bowie. And that one was wide open. Not the best showing there from the defense. Posse still out of the shotgun. Looking really good on this drive so far. Posse hit as he throws. Still gets it to his man, but it's forced out by Nick Giuliano. Posse was hit as he threw on that play as well. And that was A.J. Hepburn that laid the hit. As Posse throws over the middle this time. Kiki right there, but cannot break it up. That's a catch for Ed Wayne. 1:10 left to play, and this is definitely the best the offense has looked in this sort of 2-minute drill. Posse to throw. All kinds of time. Pass rush not getting there. End zone incomplete. Forced out by George Kiki this time. On 2nd and goal, they'll try again from the 7. Posse throwing, swatted down by Nick Giuliano. That was a risky throw. Serious interception concerns with that one. They now have a halfback back in the backfield. Andre Devine is back there, but going to the air is Posse. End zone intercepted legitimately this time. He made a risky throw last time. This time he does it again, and George Kiki punishes. Takes a knee in the end zone, and it is a turnover for UAB. What a year it has been for George Kiki. I feel like he's really starting to blossom into a bit of a superstar there on the outside. 1st and 10 from the 20. Still plenty of time for UConn if they want to pursue more points. Shaq McBath hits the spin move, gets a block, needs to get up to speed. He does, and now he's past the 40 and up to the 49. We'll call our first timeout. 2nd down and 10. Tobin back to pass again. Hit as he throws. That time it's Jack Hines, the right tackle, letting someone through. 3rd down and 10 from the 49. Dalton Schmizniak beat his man off the line. Tobin sees it. Dalton Schmizniak to the end zone again. Touchdown, UConn. He is a great release receiver. He may not have that incredible speed like Tobin does, but he is a much better route runner. He gets off the line quicker. He really is a very, very good wide receiver. Tobin sees it right away, and it is 6 more for UConn. Look at that wobbler, though. Learn to throw a clean spiral, Dorian. Wow, what a turnaround this has been for UConn. I actually can't believe it. It's shocking even to me. As Posse looks to throw, takes the check down right side, gets a pickup of 7. Player did get out of bounds, so the clock has stopped. 26 seconds left in the half. Posse throwing, and this one tipped in the air, bobbled still on AJ Hepburn's head. Ends up falling harmlessly to the turf. Nearly another pick for Posse. 3rd and 3, and they are still going to the air. Posse, quick throw. That's Nate Putu, I believe, on the tackle. That is completed, and they call a timeout. 19 seconds left. 1st and 10 from the 38. Posse, time again to throw. Great pocket. Runs into Raheem Lovelace. A truck on Gerard Byler from Cole Bowie. And that's a 1st down up past midfield from the UConn 46 now. As we can't seem to get any pressure with only the 4-man rush, and that is completed. And the final timeout burned by UAB. And with 7 seconds left, they're going to settle for a field goal attempt. This one is also dead on and actually a little bit closer than the 50-yarder he attempted earlier, but he shanked it to the right. It was curving back inside, but never got there. No good from the UAB kicker, and it's going to be 35-3 at the half. To halftime we go, and I think you guys get the point. UConn just looking dominant today. I don't really know what to say. It's still on Heisman. I was not expecting such a turnaround just by putting Dorian Tobin in at quarterback, but hey, you love to see it. Maybe it really is just a weaker opponent. Game over. UAB made it a little bit closer, a little bit more respectable there at the end. We kind of took our foot off the gas in the 4th quarter especially, but a big win for UConn, a lot more dominant than I think the scoreboard suggests. And Dorian Tobin, in his debut as the UConn quarterback, looked incredible. The offense looked so good in the first half. I'll mention it again, though. Take it with a grain of salt. UAB, I know they're a national champion winner just a couple seasons ago. They're clearly not that team anymore. They are one of the weaker teams in the Big 12, one of the weaker teams we play on the season. We're supposed to dominate them. But it's good to see that we can with the likes of Tobin in at quarterback. A significant win for UConn. Now 5-2 on the season, up over 500 in the conference at 3-2 now. UAB drops to 2-5 and now 1-4 in the conference. We'll go ahead and advance to week number 8. It's an important week for recruiting, week number 8. Larry Vitale has committed, so we've got the tight end of the future. Hopefully, we finally have a guy who isn't already at his ratings maximums as soon as he comes through the door. Iosefa Duggan, the corner, has committed from Maryland as well. And now the interesting one was Daryl Skaggs, but it looks like Syracuse did not manage to overtake us. He did lock in his top 3. He visits this week. If we win, we almost certainly win this recruiting battle. We play West Virginia, and they're a decent team. I know their record may not show it, but they're right on par with us with those overalls. UConn now up to 10th in the country. Baylor, though, at 6-0 is up to 2nd after a win over Colorado. Georgia dropping a game to now number 4 LSU. They dropped from 1st to 5th. Notre Dame losing to Stanford 16-7 and dropping all the way to 8th. Stanford now the top-rated team in the country out of the ACC. Couple new faces. Alabama now back in the top 25. I believe they were not in it the entirety of last season. And Auburn is here as well, 6-1 after a 49-28 victory over Kentucky. Texas loses to Ole Miss, drops from 12th all the way to 25th. And other teams receiving votes: Cal, Michigan, Boise State, East Carolina, TCU, Middle Tennessee State, NC State, Liberty, Pitt, and Rutgers. Michigan and South Carolina falling from the rankings. So Syracuse, actually, after losing to us 31-29, they actually brought in Daryl Skaggs on their bye week. So they did not get as many benefits as they could have had they brought him in during an actual game and gotten a win, which is probably why they didn't see that much movement in terms of the influence they gained. And then I just scouted a bunch of players with the remaining hours I had, now that we had a couple more people commit. I found Lawrence Rogan. He is a quarterback, presumably, but he's an athlete. I specifically scouted athletes because no matter what position it says that they are or their tendency is, we can move them a lot of places. Lawrence Rogan, maybe he's a really good receiver, kind of like Dorian Tobin. Maybe he's a really good halfback. You just don't know, and I don't think it hurts to bring in guys like this. And then there is Isaiah Horner, who appears to be a defensive tackle, maybe a defensive edge rusher, and he is a 3-star gem. So we're putting some points his way as well to hopefully get on his board. Back-to-back home games for the UConn Huskies. Today they faced West Virginia, a team that bettered them last season. This is one of the 2 teams that we lost to last year. UConn looking to get that victory, continue on this hot streak. Hopefully the offense looks just as good today. And we've got a big-time recruit looking to commit potentially this week, visiting. He's in the building. Let's see if this UConn offense can be as hot as they were against UAB, or was it a fluke against a weaker opponent? McBath up the middle finds 3. 2nd down and 7. Tobin play action, scrambling, maybe going to take off to run here, and he does so, finding 5 yards. That brings up a 3rd down and 2 out of the pistol. Blitz on its way. Tobin back to pass, buying time, finding his man. It's Dalton Schmizniak wide open. Can he beat the man down the field? No, he's tackled down at the 9. But a huge pickup for UConn. Dalton Schmizniak from Dorian Tobin. Nearly every single one of Tobin's throws is a duck, but they're typically pretty accurate ducks at the very least, as McBath bursts to speed, finds 4. From the 5, it's a 2nd and goal. Dump this off to Marcus Angler. Can he punch it in? No, stuffed at the goal line. From inside the 1, it's a 3rd and goal. Shaq McBath gets the handoff and gets into the end zone, stiff-arming him in for good measure as he does so. Touchdown UConn. They're on the board first again. It's 6 more. So here comes the Mountaineers offense. They are led once again by senior quarterback Khalil Wilkins. Halfback 1 is Alex Logan. They also have Josh Morales. Wide receiver 1 is Jeffrey Kareem. Then they have Matthew Pope. I don't know if you guys remember this name, but I believe that we tried to recruit this guy as a halfback, I want to say. And he went to West Virginia, converted to receiver, I guess. I may be misremembering that, but for some reason his name in particular really rings a bell. Jeremiah Yoder is wide receiver 3. Then they have Ben Abel and Marco Tapp. And then they have Mike Heggie and Nazir Red as tight ends. This is a much better offense than the one we just faced against UAB. Much more well-rounded as Wilkins looks to throw, finding his target, and he's got a lot of open field in front of him. It's Matthew Pope. Joey Terrell chases him down, has the speed, but man, that is horrible to start the day for the UConn Huskies. That also pushes Wilkins over 2,000 yards on the season. So a huge pickup for Matthew Pope to start West Virginia's day. 1st and 10 from the 27. And it's going to be a handoff. That's Alex Logan. But he meets Joey Terrell. A loss of 3 sets up a 2nd and 13. Wilkins out of the shotgun and from the 29. Fakes the handoff, throws quickly, finding a target. Broken tackle. A.J. Hepburn can't make it happen. It's Jeremiah Yoder on the reception. And man, a missed opportunity there for Hepburn. He's one of the leading tacklers on the team. A bit of a missed opportunities. Not normally one to miss those. First and goal from the 5-man in motion. Wilkins to throw and checking it down to the halfback who steps out of bounds out of fear of Raheem Lovelace. Backs them up to the 9. Second and goal. Wilkins fakes the snap. I think that's going to be on D'Angelo Townsend. Unfortunately, got caught out. So we undo the loss that Raheem Lovelace forced. Now it's a second and goal at the 4. Wilkins brings a man over in motion, and it is a jet touch pass. Yoder gets into the end zone. Touchdown, West Virginia. It looked like Corin Daly might get in the backfield and make the play in time. He was just a little too slow, and West Virginia will tie this football game up. Feels like that drive is proof that this is a team we're not going to be able to walk all over like we did against UAB. Tobin will hand off to McBath, and looked like he had a lane, but it closed very quickly. Second and 7 from the 25. Tobin back to pass, trying to launch one in there for Dalton Schmizniak. Well played by the linebacker. That brings us to a 3rd and 7 from the 25. Dorian Tobin back to pass again, trying to rifle one in there. It was for Marcus Engler, but it falls incomplete. UConn will have to punt. A not so great kick from the punter Roger DeLuca has West Virginia starting on UConn's side of the field, swatted down. That's A.J. Hepburn. West Virginia loves their quick passing game. Wilkins is by himself in the backfield. Paul's an audible, of course, looks to throw, check down, and that's a pickup of 7 to make it a 3rd and 3. From the 40, under center is Wilkins. 3rd and 3, handoff up the gut. We can't get a hand on him, and it's a first down for Alex Logan. 2nd and 10, Wilkins will hand it off to Alex Logan, but he meets Nate Putu in the backfield. Not quite a TFL, but very close to it. And so now it's a 3rd down and 10, and Wilkins snaps it quickly and looks to throw. Has time, but it's running out. Runs into Adonis Keough and D'Angelo Townsend. A sack for a loss of 8 for this UConn defense. 4th and 18, and that may have even pushed them out of field goal range. It did indeed push them out of field goal range. They punted it away. We start from the 27. 1st and 10 from there. Dorian Tobin to throw. Quick check down to Brock Montgomery. And a quick first down for UConn. 2nd down and 10 after an incompletion. McBath gets the carry and really nowhere to go. Only a couple of yards for McBath. So another 3rd and long situation for UConn from the 44. We're back to pass. Tobin scrambling, getting to the outside. Look at the open field for Dorian Tobin. He goes out of bounds near the 30. That is what Dorian Tobin provides. That is a sack with any other quarterback back here. Any other. 1st and 10 from the 32. As Shaq McBath gets the carry, finds some speed, and finds 8 yards. 2nd and 2 from the 23. McBath on the carry, fighting for the extra yardage, which gives him the first. 1st and 10 from the 19. Play action. And scrambling again is Tobin, but this time he's going to go down. Jason Vincent gets back there. It's a loss of 13. 3rd and forever. Tobin back to pass, stepping up. Could look to scramble here, and he will. Can he make one man miss? He does. Can he make more miss? No, he goes down at the 14. He tried his very best, but it's still a 4th and 5. So a field goal attempt from Zach Costanzo on its way right down the middle. He's been very good this year, and it's 3 more for UConn. 1st and 10, West Virginia, 9 minutes left to play in the first half, down by 3. Handoff, Logan, meet Joey Terrell. See you later, good night. A loss of 2. And there's a free play here for West Virginia. It's to Matthew Pope, and he'll pick up some yardage, but that's going to be an encroachment on Johnny McNulty, giving them some free yardage. 2nd and 7 after the free play, 8.5 left. As Wilkins hands off Logan. This time it's Raheem Lovelace making the tackle. It's a 3rd and 3. From the 32, Wilkins throwing quickly, incomplete, forced out by George Kiki. In the direction of wide receiver 1, Jeffrey Kareem. but Kiki makes the play. West Virginia punts. Over 7 minutes left to play here in the first half as Dorian Tobin and the offense takes back over from their own 21. McBath will get the carry to start the drive and gets 5. Definitely not as efficient so far today, but it is a much more powerful defense we're facing. On 2nd and 5 from the 26. Back to pass, Tobin scrambling and finding Brock Montgomery off his back foot. Second catch of the day for Brock. 1st and 10 from the 37 for Dorian Tobin. And he's going to step up. They do have a QB spy. There's a flag down. I bet that's a holding call. And it's on Jack Hines. Didn't have one the entirety of the game against UAB. Now we get one from Jack Hines that makes it a 1st and 20. As we look to throw over the middle, Tobin finds Brock Montgomery. He gets all of it back, and it's a first. From the 49 of 1st and 10, Tobin back to throw. No time. Jack Hines lets his man through. It's Jason Vincent again. 2nd and 19. Play action. Tobin having to scramble under some serious pressure. Lucky to get that one off at all. Wow, what a failure there from the O-line. My goodness. So another 3rd and forever. Tobin back to pass. He has a man down the field. Hit as he throws again, though. The O-line not here today. So West Virginia's offense takes back over with less than 5 to play here in the first half, down by 3. Wilkins will hand off Alex Logan, running lane to the outside. Raheem Lovelace chases him down, but he does have a first. Seems to get a chunk play or lose yardage. No in between for Alex Logan. He's to the left of Wilkins here, who brings his tight end in motion. Out wide to the left now. RPO, it goes the R route. And that is no gain. A loss of 3. Raheem Lovelace in the backfield. Under 4 minutes left. And now Wilkins by himself in the backfield. Only a 4-man rush from UConn. Quick check down. And a pickup of about 7. And that makes it a 3rd down and 6. They do have Logan in the backfield, but I expect they go to the air here, and they do. Wilkins to pass. Good block picked up by Logan. And Wilkins finds his tight end, Mike Heggie, anyway. Wow, what a throw. I cannot believe he was able to make that. 1st and 10 pass midfield. That one is a false start, it looks like. Although they're calling encroachment. I think that the right tackle jumped. I'm pretty sure that should have been a false start. Instead, it's on us. Outside of holding penalties, encroachment is the one we easily get the most, falling for fake snaps often. Wilkins check down to the halfback, Joey Terrell, one of the best tacklers in the country. 2-minute timeout, 2 minutes left in the first half. West Virginia driving, 2nd and 7. Wilkins, quick throw underneath, finding. That's Jeffrey Kareem for a first. They go to the hurry up, 1:50 left. Wilkins to throw again, and does so quickly again. This one is caught as well. It's Jeffrey Kareem once more. It was good coverage from George Kiki, just a better play holding on to it from Jeffrey Kareem. And this time they'll go Yoder's way, and George Kiki gets beat. 1st and 10 up to the 11 for the Mountaineers. Season after season, this West Virginia team plays us very well. They're doing so again. Wilkins to throw quickly. It's Yoder again, and a touchdown for the wideout. His 2nd one on the day, and West Virginia will take the lead. 6 more points. It'll make it 14-10. Not a great look so far from the defense. 34 seconds, 3 timeouts for UConn. They could maybe make something happen here as Tobin's going to launch one up for Dalton Schmizniak, who makes the grab up to the 35. 1st and 10. 5-man rush on its way. We've got Marcus Engler to the outside, and that's another first, up to the 46. 25 seconds left to play. Tobin back to pass, stepping up in the pocket, going to take off to scramble here. Good blocking from Terry Overhauser down the field, and Tobin able to get to the 32. 19 seconds. Tobin back to throw, finds Shaq McBath, goes down, we'll call a timeout. Already in Zach Costanzo field goal range, so now it's about trying to get to the end zone. Tobin back to pass, lobbing one up for Dalton Schmizniak. It's just out of reach. On 3rd and 1 with 8 seconds, we'll try again, and we're going to give Dalton another chance. Jump ball again. It's a little out of the reach of Dalton Schmizniak. 4th and 1 will settle for the 40-yard field goal attempt. Kick from Costanzo on its way. I knew it the second I pressed the button. Shanked it to the left. That's completely on me. I can't believe I missed that, to be honest. We go to the half, 14-10 for West Virginia. With a slim lead, the offense still playing relatively well. It's really the defense that I've kind of been disappointed with today. Not able to get to the quarterback much and allowing way too many sort of short yardage routes to go for chunk plays after the catch. West Virginia does start with the football here in the second half. A field goal makes it a touchdown lead. Check down to the halfback. Joey Terrell, though, is right there. A loss of 3. The real guy that's been cooking us is number 6 there on the left, lined up with A.J. Hepburn. That's Jeremiah Yoder. And he's kind of burning Hepburn here again, but Hepburn recovers well. Wilkins throws it away. 3rd and 13 from the 22. Wilkins wants to get it through the air, and he runs into Adonis Keough, who gets another sack on the season. A loss of 4 for Wilkins, and another sack for Adonis Keough. West Virginia goes 3 and out to start the second half. The UConn offense takes back over. I'd like to remind everyone, Adonis Keough, only a freshman this year, and already leading the team in sacks. This defensive line is about to be nasty. Shaq McBath on the carry, nowhere to go. The running game just has not been there today. 2nd and 9, empty set for Tobin. And we'll take a quick throw to Shaq McBath here. And oh my God, a filthy spin move from Shaq. It only got him a couple extra yards, but it'll look nice on a highlight reel. 1st and 10 from the 43. Tobin to McBath, bounces this back, runs into his own lineman, just short of that first down marker. Max Cadet checks in, and on 2nd and inches, Tobin's actually going to look to throw, and launching one through the air for Dan Sanders. Oh, I thought he made the grab. Wait, did he? No, but they gave us a first down? How does that work? It was 2nd and inches, and granted, it was like inches, maybe a single inch. Tobin, I step up here. I see that there's a ton of room to scramble, but I also see that Dan Sanders has a step. This could be a touchdown with a good throw from Tobin. Unfortunately, I did hold the button too long. Another wobbler, and it didn't get over enough. It looked like Sanders caught it after the tip, but no, it does fall incomplete. But we earned a first down anyway. Very strange. We're looking like the Kansas City Chiefs out here with the favoritism from the refs. Just got it given a first down for free. The 33, McBath gonna get the carry. Blocking doesn't hold up super well, but 4 yards is pretty decent. 2nd and 6 from the 29. Tobin back to pass, and he wants Marcus Angler on the drag route. He's going to be inside the 10, trying to get to the 5. He's down at the 6. 1st and goal, UConn. You'd hate to settle for a field goal on this drive. 2nd and goal from the 5. Tobin to throw, wants Dalton Schmizniak. He holds on, and he's into the end zone. Touchdown, UConn. Dalton Schmizniak doing the Heisman pose despite not even being really remotely close to being a Heisman candidate, but you love to see it. Dalton in these last couple weeks truly becoming a wide receiver 1 for this team, picking up where Dorian Tobin left off, and Dorian Tobin, the man throwing him the ball. So UConn back up by 3, 17-14. Khalil Wilkins will hand it off to Alex Logan. Raheem Lovelace in the backfield. Logan does spin forward for a yard, though. Yet to see any of backup halfback Josh Morales, as Wilkins will look to throw. Blitz picked up nicely, and that is incomplete. Yoder could not hold on. So now a 3rd down and 9 from the 26. Wilkins running out of time. Clyde Novak is there, gets it to Logan, forced out by A.J. Hepburn. And it is another 3 and out forced by the defense. A really good return here from Terry Overhauser, only the punter to beat, and he actually makes the play. They've got a pretty athletic punter over here. That was going to be a return for a touchdown for Terry Overhauser. 1st and 10 UConn from the 31. Tobin back to pass. Dalton Schmizniak beat his man off the line. Bit of an underthrow there, though, from Tobin. Now a 2nd and 10. Tobin to throw again. Gets it out quickly. Montgomery spin move finds the 1st. From the 20 in the red zone now. We'll get this to Tevin Madu, but it's only good for a yard. 2nd and 9 from the 19. McBath gets the carry, fighting for extra yardage. Set up a 3rd and medium. From the 14, a 3rd and 4. Tobin back to pass, buying time for Marcus Angler. It goes in and out of the tight end's hands. incomplete. Kick from Costanzo on its way will take 3 more. Now it is 20-14, but man, can't help but feel like that was a wasted opportunity. So a touchdown and extra point would take the lead for West Virginia. It's a crucial thing to keep in mind. Wilkins to throw. We sent a blitz, but got no pressure at all. A pickup of 7. 2nd and 3 for Wilkins and the West Virginia offense. Bringing a man over in motion, and then he goes back out wide to the left. Wilkins scrambling now, throwing deep down the field. He's got a man. It's Jeremiah Yoder. Nick Giuliano was beat, and it's a touchdown for West Virginia. Time and time again, Jeremiah Yoder has been the guy to beat us out of the slot. And time again, it does not matter who is covering him. They have failed to do a good job. And the junior wideout, another touchdown, his 3rd on the day, this time against the safety Nick Giuliano. West Virginia will retake the lead with the PAT. Down by a single point for UConn, 21-20. Tobin will hand off McBath, and Nolan Lindsay, the new left tackle, gets beat badly. Had to go through the air a lot today, and Tobin's been good for it, to his credit. 2nd and 9 from the 19. Tobin launching one for Dalton Schmizniak, beat his man off the line, open field in front of him. Is he fast enough to stay ahead? He's not. He's down at the 2. Dalton Schmizniak, stop putting him in press coverage. He's going to beat your corner every time. 1st and goal, UConn at the 2. The big back Max Cadet checks in. 2nd and goal. I think everyone in the stadium knows where this ball is going. They can't stop it. Max Cadet untouched. Touchdown, UConn. Getting a little chippy there with West Virginia as well at the end of that. 26-21 is the score, and Max Cadet continues to be an elite goal line back. We are, of course, going for the 2-point conversion, make it a clean 28-21. Tobin is out of the pistol and will look to throw. Goes for Terry Overhauser, who holds on, and the 2-point conversion is good. UConn now up by a clean 7 points. This is a good West Virginia football team, and we've got to be able to put these good teams away if we want to be great. 1st and 10 from the 25. Alex Logan going to find a lot of running room here to the outside on the first play of the new drive. 1st and 10 from the 38 as we enter the 4th quarter. Wilkins to throw, and completed very quickly, but going down is Matthew Pope. 2nd down, Logan's still in the backfield, but they've gone to the air a ton as Wilkins looks to throw again. Elite pocket check down to Jeffrey Kareem, and he's got a first at the 50. From the 50, it is a 1st and 10. Man in motion is the tight end. Goes back to the right, and then it's going to be a carry for Alex Logan. Joey Terrell kind of caught off guard. That rarely happens. A.J. Hepburn has to bring the man down. It's a 1st down again. 4.3 per carry for Alex Logan. Not terrible, but not great either. 1st and 10 from the 37. It's Yoder, the man in motion, but Logan, the one who ends up with the ball. Raheem Lovelace lays the hit stick. Byler was the first man to meet him. 2nd and long. Wilkins. Delayed handoff. It goes to Logan. And we're right there with Nick Giuliano and Adonis Keough to set up a 3rd and 7. This is a significant point in the game. Wilkins out of the shotgun. Josh Morales into the game for, I think, the first time today. And he will get the football, but he will not get the first. Makes the catch, but the linebacker duo there to make the tackle. And on 4th down and 3, they are lined up to go for this. And it's going to be a keeper for Wilkins. Tries to throw, and it falls incomplete. D'Angelo Townsend was right there along with Clyde Novak. Turnover on downs. UConn takes over. 7.5 left to play. Any points on this drive makes it a 2-possession lead and could put it away. From the 30, a 1st down and 10. Brock Montgomery, that's behind him, incomplete. 2nd down from the 30, and we'll keep it on the ground this time. McBath finds these holes, but then they close up seemingly instantly. Brings us to a 3rd down and 8 from the 32. Tobin back to pass over the middle. Dalton Schmizniak can't hold on. A risky throw from Dorian Tobin. And a very rapid 3 and out. 6.5 left to play in the game. Still down a touchdown for West Virginia. They'll start from their own 33. They bring Jeremiah Yoder in motion, but do not snap it to him for the jet touch pass. Yoder holds on despite the huge Nick Giuliano hit. From the 40, a 2nd and 4. Wilkins Will hand it off, delayed to Alex Logan, breaks out of a tackle attempt and has a first up to the 47, under 6 minutes now. Coming down to the wire here in Connecticut, 5.5 left to play. First and 10 from the 47. Man in motion is the tight end, and it's a fake handoff to Alex Logan. Wilkins deep down the field. Beating us again is Jeremiah Yoder. Why can't we stop this kid? It does not matter who covers him. George Kiki has gotten beat. Nick Giuliano has gotten beat. Gerard Byler has gotten beat. AJ Hepburn has gotten beat. If Jeremiah Yoder weren't on this team, it'd be a blowout. I want to say that was even the exact same play, just from the opposite side, that beat Giuliano last time for their score as well, and it's a tie game. So UConn needs to find points again. First and 10 from the 25. Tobin to pass. Blitz on its way. Gets this to Tevin Madu. Makes a man miss and gets near the first down. 2nd and inches. And now UConn in the Wildcat here. McBath lined up as the quarterback. Cadet to his right. Direct snap, of course, to McBath. And he does get the first, but man, only barely. The run game for this team not working out great today. This time, though, McBath gets a good running lane and a good lead blocker for 8. I think in an ideal world, West Virginia is not allowed to see the ball again. We buy time with Dorian Tobin, and he's hit as he throws, incomplete. Had Schmizniak. 3rd and 2, a critical 3rd down. Handoff McBath. He's going to get it easily. Just needs to hold on to the football, and he does. Injury timeout for West Virginia will stop the clock. 3:15 left to play. Approaching Costanzo field goal range. Probably want roughly 10 more yards or so. McBath will get us 4 of that. Empty set for Tobin. It's a 2nd and 6. To throw, he wants Marcus Angler, who does hold on, but does not get a first. It is a 3rd and 3. A big time 3rd down here. 2-minute timeout come and gone. 3rd and 3 from the 40. Tobin, back to pass, stepping up, gonna scramble for it. Shaq McBath is injured. I don't know if we got the first because I can't see it at the bottom. We did. Dorian Tobin successfully getting the first down. McBath injury sucks, but we've got to worry about winning this football game. On the 37, it's a 1st and 10. Dan Boyd is in the game. He'll get the carry. Back spasms for McBath. He will not return. West Virginia not using timeouts. On 2nd and 4 from the 31, Cadet gets the carry, gets a first, and now West Virginia spends the first one. It said McBath would not return. He's in the game. 2nd and 11 from the 27, and McBath will get the carry. He has literally 0 wear and tear. Why is he in the game? 3rd and 5 from the 21. No timeouts for West Virginia. Max Cadet gonna get the carry. If he can get a first, it would be massive, and he does. That is a huge first down for Max Cadet. It means that we can chew the clock entirely and just leave it up to Zach Costanzo. We're going to run it again, maybe try to center this a little bit more. Cadet just needs to not fumble the football, and he doesn't. There's an injured West Virginia player again. It's Jason Vincent. Does that actually stop the clock here? It did indeed stop the clock. So we're going to run one more play, chew the clock a little bit more. 2nd and 9. It's going to be Dan Boyd gets the carry and will go down eventually. And we'll call a timeout with just a couple seconds left. 23-yarder for Zach Costanzo to win UConn the football game. Kick on its way, and it was never a doubt. UConn beats West Virginia by 3 thanks to the Zach Costanzo field goal. A really, really good drive by this offense there at the end, chewing away the entirety of the clock, not allowing West Virginia to see the ball again. And a big dub, a big conference dub for UConn. Back-to-back wins for the starter Dorian Tobin. This one not as pretty, but a win is a win. And we need to be able to put teams like that away. That is a team, that's a very good team. And Jeremiah Yoder cooked us. We got to do something about fast slot receivers because they just burn us. So UConn now 6-2 on the season. Here's a look at the player stats. Definitely not as clean of a day for Tobin. Touchdowns weren't there. Completion percentage not as good. But man, what he can do on the ground as a quarterback is just, it's unbelievable. It's so helpful. It does make me play differently, that's for sure. I think I probably look to scramble a little bit too often when maybe I don't need to. But hey, you can't deny that he is a super fun player. And super late in the game there on that game-winning drive, he had that rush where he broke like 3 tackles tackles, fought for the yardage, and got the first. That basically won us the football game. It was a rough day on the ground for Shaq McMath. 3.9 per carry, 21 attempts. Cadet was not better. Dan Boyd was, though, but only had 2 carries. Receiving, Marcus Angler, 4 for 43, no touchdowns, but Dalton Schmizniak, dude, 4 for 161 and a tutty. The guy is just incredible off the line. If I see him in press coverage with no safety over the top, I typically will just send him on a streak, and he beats his guy most of the time. Brock Montgomery, 4 for 63. He's my drag route merchant. Just get him on those short yardage throws. He gets run after the catch. Tevin Madu has been a decent part of this offense now. Only 11 yards today, though. Blake Franks, by the way, 12 pancake blocks today. Defensively, Joey Terrell, 5 solo tackles, leads the team, but Raheem Lovelace with 10 total tackles leads the team there. In terms of TFLs, though, it is Joey Terrell with 4. He was all over Alex Logan today. He was typically the man responsible for him and did a very good job. Lovelace, Keogh, and Townsend each with 2 TFLs. Adonis Keogh, a sack and a half. Corin Daly, half. Novak, half. And Townsend, half. No interceptions today, but a decent showing from the defense. It was literally just Jeremiah Yoder that continued to burn us. But run defense still looks really good, and the pass defense outside of the slot looks okay. And of course, a win, increasing your win total up to 6, always a good thing. But the other big thing to keep in mind is that we did have that wide receiver recruit, Daryl Skaggs, visiting. So that's even more bonus for him. So when we advance the week, hopefully he will be committing to us. And that is exactly what happened. Daryl Skaggs from Wallingford, Connecticut. Welcome to UConn. UConn now the 8th ranked team in the country. Nebraska receiving their 2nd loss down to 9th. Baylor dropping 2 spots despite dropping 62 points on Iowa State. Make it make sense. How do you drop 62 and you drop 2 spots? But somehow LSU, a 27-20 victory against Arkansas, makes them move up a couple of spots. So now it's Stanford, LSU, Florida State, 34-0 over Indiana, now up to 3rd. Georgia losing again, this time to Auburn, who's now up to 15th. Auburn, a team that we played last season. Georgia outside of the top 10, on the outside looking in potentially now of the college football playoff. Guess it remains to be seen. So now that a lot more of the conference play is out of the way, it is looking like Baylor and UConn are the 2 top dogs in the Big 12. Although UConn does have the 2 conference losses, could potentially come back to bite them, especially if Texas Tech continues to play very well. They are now ranked 18th, 2 losses on the season, but only 1 loss in the conference. So if they were to win out, they would end up having a better conference record than us. And I believe that means they would steal our spot against Baylor in the Big 12 championship. The Big 12 champions from last season, Oklahoma State, down to 4-3, but still 3-1 in the conference. And at the bottom, it's UAB at 3-5. But all things considered, it's pretty balanced this year. Baylor, the only undefeated team remaining. If you're curious about the other conferences, we'll scroll through those really quick. Stanford and Tulane undefeated in the ACC. North Texas undefeated in the American. In the Big 10, it's Michigan State, Washington, and Michigan at the top. Conference USA, Western Kentucky continues to dominate. Notre Dame 8-1 is an independent. In the MAC, it's Central Michigan and Northern Illinois at 5-2. In this new look Mountain West, which is, I guess, so evenly matched, the 2 top teams are 5-3. In the new Pac-12, San Diego State, the top dog, currently 6-1. Utah State 0-7. I'm curious what you guys would think about almost like a promotion relegation system between the Pac-12 and the Mountain West going forward. Like Utah State being this bad, maybe they get relegated to the Mountain West, and whoever wins the Mountain West goes to the Pac-12 potentially. Just a thought. Let me know what you think. In the SEC, LSU 8-0, Auburn 7-1, Florida State 7-1, and in the Sun Belt, Troy 7-1, 4-0 in the conference. So through Tobin's first 2 games as the starter, 6 touchdowns, and really, already starting to catch up to Cole Welliver. It's definitely been a little bit better with Tobin. It's still, against West Virginia, it was still probably not quite where I feel like we want it to be, but it's closer for sure. And I do feel like Tobin can absolutely bail us out of situations that Welliver just would not even come close to being able to. With Skaggs committing, we now have 9 commits going into next season, and I'm excited to have a guy like Daryl Skaggs. He does have 95 speed, so he will be the fastest receiver, assuming Tobin does not move back to receiver, but that remains to be seen. But anyway, that is going to do it for this episode. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I apologize for the big gap between last episode and this one. I had finals going on, so it's been finals week for me all week, and so I decided to kind of take a break from gaming in general, college football 25 in particular, and the YouTube grind to really lock in there and get the semester completed. But after this week is over, I'm pretty free for basically the entirety of December, and I plan to bring you guys a lot more content, whether that be live streams, YouTube videos, and what have you. But if you find yourself coming back on the regular and you aren't already subscribed, go ahead and hit that sub button for me. It does help me out a lot. Shout out to the channel members. Your guys' support means everything to me. If you guys want to join the community Discord, there's a link to it down in the description below. But I will see you guys in the next episode where number 8 UConn takes on Liberty.